Hi everybody, my name is Taylor Whalen and I'm going to be going over my final presentation with you guys. I had a lot of fun in this class and learning about everything. Here's my cover page and here we go. So I decided to use my final presentation on the Research the Process paper that we did. I think I chose this assignment because there were so many different components to it, like the policies and procedures, regulations, rules, guidelines, the habeas corpus. There's just so many things to go over, and there are so many things that I learned more in depth about doing that assignment. One thing that stuck out to me was, policies. What are policies? Why do we have them? Who does it protect? Thinking of policies in a criminal justice mind frame, I automatically go to corrections. And, policies and procedures help and protect the life and liberty of the inmates that are in this situation. But that's not all that it is. Policies can also, in my line of work that I'm going to want to do, I want to be a victim's advocate. And, policies and procedures give you the framework to build and know you're doing the right thing. What are your first steps? What needs to be done? It lets you know when you miss something, when you skip a step. The policies and procedures also make sure that everybody's on the same page. Going back to corrections, if we think of an inmate being booked and you have Officer A and Officer B, and Officer A does everything by the books, everything's perfect. Officer B chooses to skip a few steps and he forgets to do a weapons check or a search. Next thing you know, we have an inmate with a shank and it endangers the whole lot of the people. So policies and rules and procedures and guidelines are really the framework that help us be great employees. When we break the rules, that's when we see the consequences happen. And our consequences don't affect just us, it can affect our peers, our family, the people that we swore to protect. So that brings me to my next thing is, what do we expect? What do we expect from ourselves? And for me, I expect to follow the rules. I expect, to be called out when I'm not doing something right, because that, again, it's putting myself in danger, it's putting other people's in danger, and I don't think that's okay. What do we expect from others? I expect my boss to call me and hold me accountable. I expect my peers to follow the rules and do what's right. I expect, our government to protect us. And I expect the court systems, when something is wrong, to be able to fight it and do something about it and help those who can't help themselves. Policies, rules, and procedures, like I said, they're the guidelines that hold us all accountable for our actions. They support us. They help us realize, what we need to be doing. And without that, we would all be completely lost. It would be a free-for-all. Throughout this whole thing and the ethics class I took, the code of ethics is very important. As you can see on the screen, I found a little collage about, what ethics is. It's our morals, our values, the truth and etiquettes that we hold ourselves to that standard. It's the honesty, fairness, the conduct that we represent ourselves with. And, police have their own code of ethic, corrections have their own code of ethic, lawmakers have a code of ethics, but in general, we all live by the same code of ethics. Be trustworthy. Let your partners lean on you and be held accountable for your actions. Know what the right thing to do is. Know what's going to happen when you don't do the right thing. Know that, even as a CEO, yeah, you are dealing with inmates. And yeah, some of them are really bad, but at the end of the day, they're still humans. And it's your code of ethics to make sure that while caring for them and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not violating their human rights. You're not doing anything that's unjust. Honesty. If you see something, report it. I know there's a, unspoken bond between correction officers or police officers, and say one police officer goes off duty and he beats a guy too much. As his partner, I know you want to protect him, but as his partner, it's also your responsibility to report it, because the guy can't report it. And so it's up to us, really, to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Our code of ethics sets the tone for the rest of the court system. Your character and what you feel and what you believe also says a lot about you as a person. there's many, many, many great police officers, but there's also a few bad ones. Don't let a few bad people ruin the entire system. We have so much to work for, and we have accomplished so much change. It's great. But right now in our world, it's dark. The whole anti-police right now is crazy. But I think if we all stand up and we use our morals and we know what's right, that we can make a positive change in this world. One thing that I also talked about in this research, the process paper, was reshaping and reforming society and the prison system and the criminal justice system. It doesn't stop just in corrections. It doesn't stop just at the police. It goes into our judicial branch, everything. Throughout this class, one question that we were asked in all of our law journals was, how does policy affect change? How do these rules and regulations change over time? And the only thing that I kept thinking about, and it's something that I'm passionate about, is the death penalty. We used to just put people in a chair and electrocute them. We used to just hang people. And over time, we realized, that violated our Eighth Amendment. What is cruel and unusual punishment? What is justice? Who gets to decide that? Now there's so many states that don't do it, and it's a constant battle. But to back up, sorry, I went on a little rant. Reform. We don't do that anymore. We have trials. We make sure that we know somebody is guilty, and there's still people that are proven guilty that didn't do anything. And that's something that we're working on also. But as crappy as it is, we wouldn't be able to have the reform and change that we have now without making mistakes along the way. And that's not to say that we're not going to make mistakes later on in life either, because we still have so much to work on. And change is inevitable. We have to keep changing. We have to keep growing. It means we're doing something right. We're realizing mistakes and we're growing from it. And I think that's what we've done so far. What is the writ of habeas corpus? The habeas corpus lawsuit happens when a prisoner or detainee believes that their rights have been violated or infringed upon by a criminal justice professional, whether that be the police officer that took them in, the correction officer that's denying them meals, and it will usually be filed in the court or county where the prisoner is being held. When this happens, the court decides to handle the petition in several ways. First, you need to present the evidence about why you believe you have been mistreated. You're probably going to want to get an attorney, and the attorney files the charges for you. The court can dismiss the case and hold another hearing, or say, hey, you don't have enough evidence. But this also allows inmates to feel, that just because they're incarcerated, that their opinions and views and life still matters. And I think this is a good way to, have that separate power and checks and balances. In summary, I've had a really great time in this class and I've learned a lot of things. Thank you, Professor Paserno, and I can't wait to learn more.